everyone, and welcome to the YouTube channel for Enchanted Vibes, Spiritual Readings, and Wellness. My name is Omowarare Ogbonyomi, also known as Queen T, and I am a goddaughter of Priestess Iyanifa Oshun Funke. I am the creator of Enchanted Vibes and the co-owner of Vibe and High. So this is the disposal part of the enchanted basics of rituals and magic. So this is going to be really short because there is not a lot to it. And if you've been watching the other videos, I kind of touch on this anyway. Make sure that you watch all the videos in this series because they all go together, and I go more in depth depending upon which video it is that you are watching. So I will just get this out of the way right now. The trash is the absolute last option, okay? There is one deity where you can wrap your offering up in like a white cloth with 9 pennies and dispose of it at a marketplace. If you know who that is, then you know who that is. Otherwise, there are much better and more respectful ways to dispose of your working. If you were in any of the classes we've had over the past couple weeks, they were all very timely because these are things that we've actually gone over in some of those other classes. It just so happened that I was also talking about them, so it ended up working out. So this is a reiteration if you have been in the other classes. So if the first thing is know who you are working with. Offerings to your ancestors mostly can be disposed of in a lot of different ways, but certain deity have preferences. So be aware of those things when you're writing down your process initially. That needs to be part of your plan for the working. So if it's food, you can take it to a running body of water, under a tree, or like in a wooded area. If you can't do it, if you can do it on your land, that's best. If you can't, a place that's pretty is nice as well, like a park, nature trails, or like a local river, like a nice little scenery. Some deity prefer the river, so that ends up working out. Some deity like crossroads, and some like railroad tracks. Just make sure you do it where people won't see and snitch on you. And again, know who you're working with, and if you're working with a deity, make sure you are qualified to do so. And if you don't know where their offerings go, you're not qualified to do so. Just saying. Clothing items, those, or like cloth stuff, that stuff can be burned, as can things like poppets. So please don't put clothing in the river, or poppets, really. Remember, do no harm. So you can gather the ashes of those things and then dispose of them elsewhere. You can, you can dispose of it in the woods. At that point, you can dispose of it at the river, at a crossroads, wherever it seems most appropriate. If you used a candle with a glass encasement, those can be recycled. So you can also put gin in them and leave them at the gate of a graveyard or cemetery. You do not need to go inside. But this is best at a place where your ancestors are buried, if you have them nearby you. Leftover liquid, or like a byproduct of the working itself. So if you are only using the egg whites for working, or the eggshell itself, if you're not going to dry it out and use it for to make cascarilla, you can bury it. With liquid, it can be poured, usually somewhere on your land nearby or in a river. Most things can be buried as long as they are not a harm to the environment. So again, be careful where, if you can't do this on your own property. One of the parks near me has a lot of trails, but some of them are like hidden trails, and like they're not used very often or at all, I don't think, because some of them are like pretty overgrown. Like you can tell people don't usually walk through them. So that's where I usually go to bury things that need to be buried. Now that I live in a different space, I can kind of bury them near my back patio. But certain things should be disposed of nowhere near your home. So make sure that you know that as well, because depending upon the type of work or depending upon the deity, you should not dispose of that anywhere near your home. So again, know that before you get started. And regardless of how you're disposing of the work, just make sure that you say a prayer of thanks while you do so. If you are a practitioner and you have other ideas, please share them in the comments. I'd love to see how you have disposed of workings, especially if it's in an oddly specific way, like driving over the railroad tracks and pouring it out of the window while praying loudly. That was one that I just recently heard, and I thought it was fantastic, and I would love to see it. So if you would like to learn more or get started on your journey, click the link that is in the description of this video. The links will take you to our Coven's Facebook page. If you're not already on there, we have a link to the community outreach program, and some other cool stuff is on there as well. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe so that you can be notified when new videos are released. I go live every Saturday at 4:30, and I will summarize key points of the recently released videos and answer questions that you have. So this is also a wonderful time for you to add to the discussion by sharing your experiences and becoming part of the conversation. So until next time, keep your head so high that you can't even see the haters.